I use a kickstand.
Tyler Ragsdale loves to ride his bike, but like many 15-year-olds, Tyler really wants to learn to drive a car. Unfortunately, that goal will be forever out of reach. Tyler has severe brain damage, an IQ of about 45. Less than half his brain functions at all. When Tyler was an infant, he was shaken severely and repeatedly by his biological father, probably initially because Tyler wouldn't stop crying. At the age of 5 months, Tyler was in the hospital, comatose for days, suffering with seizures, struggling to live. The bruises, the broken ribs, the bite mark would all eventually heal. But the damage inside Tyler's skull would stay with him forever.
He has memory issues, cognitive issues. He has mild CP due to the strokes and the brain injury.
Stories like Tyler's are too common. Nationwide, an estimated 1,200 babies are treated each year for shaken baby syndrome. The CDC says 20% die. Tyler was among the lucky ones. He was lucky he survived, and he was lucky that one particular Southwest Missouri couple heard his story. Tyler was 2.5 years old when Mike and Carrie Ragsdale chose to adopt a baby many had considered unadoptable.
We've been asked this question several times. To us, it was just a no-brainer. It just fit. Tyler needed to come home with us. We needed him here. End of story.
Well, you must have known this was going to be a huge challenge.
Yes, of course. But when we met with him, we knew it was right.
Do you have some eggs back there? Or
Yeah.
Can he show us?
In many ways, Tyler functions like a preschooler.
You have chickens and turkeys?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's a turkey, chicken.
I mean, it depends on the day with Tyler. We always say that someday he's firing on all 8 cylinders and some days he's firing on 1 or 2. So in each day, it's a whole new world sometimes with Tyler.
Yeah.
This is one of Tyler's better days. Some days he doesn't communicate. Although Carrie and Mike want Tyler to be as independent as possible, they know he'll never be able to live on his own. They plan to help care for him as long as they're around. And they know they'll have their hands full. The couple has adopted 2 other brain-damaged children, and the Ragsdales both have full-time jobs.
It's okay to let a baby cry in the crib. It really is.
Crying don't hurt him, but if you get mad and shake him, there's no takebacks. It's just like squeezing the trigger. There's no turning back.
The contents of this suitcase can shake up perceptions. The Children's Center in Joplin takes it to schools, child development classes, and meetings of various organizations around Southwest Missouri to demonstrate what can happen when a baby is severely shaken.
So in order to cause any kind of injury to a baby, you have to shake pretty vigorously. Up, yes, but as you shake.
Wow. This represents all the areas of damage.
All the areas of damage. And when a child stops crying like this, typically they've stopped breathing, they're in a coma, they may have experienced death at that point.
Those few seconds of shaking would have damaged areas of the brain that control thought, emotion, dexterity, and vision.
All of those could have been damaged, maybe permanently, through that shaking you just showed us.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Most victims of shaken baby syndrome are less than a year old when they're most helpless and their brains are most vulnerable. But severe shaking can permanently brain damage a child as old as 4 or 5 years. Police say they hear the same stories over and over.
Sometimes we'll see the offenders take a role of no responsibility, and then on the other side of the spectrum, they'll just say they did it and give us an example why they did it.
What would be an example why?
The child crying, not stopping, being left alone with a child that they didn't want to be with.
No baby was ever injured or died from crying. And so if you are so frustrated that you feel like you're going to harm that child or you just can't stand it, lay the baby down and walk away.
15-year-old Tyler Ragsdale can never walk away from the severe brain injuries he suffered when he was shaken as a baby by his biological father. He's lucky. His loving adoptive parents, Mike and Carrie Ragsdale, chose to spend their lives improving his.
It takes a lot of dedication and courage and sacrifice to do something like that.
Yeah, it does with any child, though.
The message that I want to get out is once you shake your child, once you do that, the traumatic brain injury to your child, you can't take it back. It stays with that child for their lifetime.
For the abuser, for the new caregivers, for the child. Lives shaken forever.